Hi, everyone. So sorry for being late. I have with me a very interesting guest. He's a friend of mine, and he's absolutely friend of so many of us. I'm just gonna wait till we have at least one click from somebody because I have a glitch on my computer. I want to make sure we have anybody here with us. So here you go. I think we got people. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Good evening. We are honored to have uh, محمد عميري مو أمري أبو قاسم. تحياتي مو.
اهلا سام، مساء الخير.
I, الله يخليك. And I'm sorry for this 9 minutes of stupid stuff on my computer.
No
But
problem.
I'm happy finally we made it. Mo, يعني I have so many things on my mind to talk about, but I'd like to start briefly. If you can just fill us in roughly, if I want to say in a few lines, how do you like to let people who don't know who Moe Amery to know about? So would you please introduce yourself to us in the way that you want to be introduced?
Well, Sam, as I said to you the other day, is what you see is what you get.
Absolutely, yes.
Mohamed Amery, I've been around for a long time. I've been around with the community. I've been an MLA I served as an MLA for 22 years,
Right.
and in the Alberta legislature. I am married. I have 5 kids, 1 boy and 4 girls, and I'm still active and going.
Beautiful. I'd like to start with something you told me in one of our conversations. Like you came to this country with no English and $50. So I'd like to start from that time. So how, we must be living in a wonderful country. I know that, but to come to a country like Canada with no English and $50 only, I think, and then you make it all the way into, I would say, really beautifully in Alberta. So tell us a little bit about the start, please, if you don't mind.
Well, Sam, it's like any young person who grew up in the Middle East, looking up to go abroad and to improve his life, to improve his economic situation. And Sam, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
That's where the journey started. And as I told you the other day, when I was MLA and I was in Edmonton, I had one of the teachers from the Glengarry School. She used to call me to speak to kids over there who came at the young age, and they thought that they have no hope in this country. And I came and talked to them and kind of empowered them and encouraged them. And I told them, this is absolutely, without any doubt in my mind, we are in the most beautiful, the most generous country in the whole world. Canada, as we all know, has been rated as #1 country in the world in many years in a row, Sam. And skies are the limits. I think if you're if you have confidence in yourself, if you work hard, if you want to succeed, the skies are the limits. I remember one time I was invited to James Fowler School, and the gymnasium was full. Grade 11 and 12, I think, grade 10, 11, and 12. And I told them, I have no hesitation talking about my journey. And I told them the story that when I arrived in this country, I did not know a word of English. Well, I knew the basics. I shouldn't say I did not know. I know the basics that we learn over there.
Right.
But I worked hard. I worked on myself. I learned the language, and I worked very hard too. And I said, look, I came in and I waved the $50 that I had in my pocket at that time. And that really ignited the gymnasium. And I got so many invitations after that event to go and speak at schools and try to encourage people to work hard and take advantage of the programs that we do have in this city, this province, and this country.
Oh, beautifully. So was it hard to get involved back then? I mean, did you start back in the 90s or late 80s? I'm not really sure.
No, I think I came in the 70s, Sam.
Oh, I see.
I know I look very young, but I came in the 70s.
No, I meant politically, in the political arena. You joined the political arena
You
when?
know, I came in the 70s, and I'll tell you, it was a lot harder than today. I mean, in the 70s, you did not find on every corner of the streets where you have a center for newcomers and organizations helping immigrants. I mean, we almost were on our own. Okay, I had to take lessons, special lessons. I went to English labs to
Oh, wow.
improve at the University of Alberta in Edmonton to improve my language skills. So it took very intense training and intense learning. So to getting into politics.
Sorry, so you studied English back then, and you were studying English and work at that time, or just studying English in the beginning?
Well, I was studying English. Like as I said, I arrived here with $50 in my pocket, but I was fortunate to have a family that supported me and through schools, and so I. But when I said I arrived with $50, that's not the $50 that got me all the way to school, through schools and other things. Yeah. So when you asked me about getting into politics, I have always enjoyed politics. Even when I was in Lebanon, I got involved as a young kid, like putting up pictures for MPs and for politicians that I have never met or I have never known in the country. So I always had that interest. And when I got here, and I found that the opportunities are there. You can actually walk to a politician and talk to him and ask him questions and inquire about things from him. So I thought, what a country, what a
Absolutely.
country. If I one time I'll tell you one thing. I was at the U of A, and our political science professor took us to the Legislative Assembly in Edmonton to watch the question period. And I told one of my fellow students, I said, look, one day I'm going to be sitting down there. And he looked at me and he said, you're crazy. And then I didn't see him maybe for maybe 10 years or so. And when he heard my name, he called me. He said, are you the same Moe Amery who went to U of A? And gave me some hints. And I said, yes. He said, well, you're not crazy.
So, Moe, as you know, I mean, I've been doing a few live chats with the focus and the purpose of the chat mainly is to find ways to get our communities involved. And when I say our community, basically we want all immigrants community to get involved. And personally, being Arab Syrian myself, I want the Arabs and the Syrian part of me to be involved. But mainly also I focused on the Muslim community in Calgary and how come we're not up to speed in terms of our engagement. And I don't mean that talking about Muslim community because I think in your political career, you just represent the whole riding there and you were just across the board for all Canadians. But do you agree with me on the narrative that I don't want to say Muslim community per se, just a specific to pick that community or just immigrant in general, but overall for everybody who came to this country new or for second generation, I call them people who born to immigrant families. Do you think are we engaged enough politically and at a social level, like in our society, in our communities, or you think it's not as it should be?
Well, Sam, let me tell you this. I live in the east part of the city.
All right.
the most ethnically diverse section of the city of Calgary and maybe the province of Alberta.
Right.
When I visited schools in this area when I was an MLA and used to visit schools regularly, and I see a kind of a mosaic of
Right.
of colors and nationalities and races. And I asked the teachers and the principals as to how many students you have in, or how many languages do you have in this school.
Right.
Many of them told me it ranges between 28 to 30 languages in the elementary school to about 84 languages in high school.
Oh wow!
So that means, Sam, we have people living in this area from 84 different languages, 84 different cultures.
Right.
So the participation, I think the participation is really good. Some of the communities are new, and some of the communities that we have, especially in this part of the city, are hesitant to get involved in politics because they left their countries because of the political systems they have over there. So it's going to take them time. But talking about our community, I'll tell you, from a person who have dealt with a lot of communities in the area, I think our community, I would rate it as the best, the most advanced, the most educated, the most willing to work. And nobody does anything without a reason. Okay. And you said it yourself. Sam, that in our last nomination, I read what you wrote. You said الجالية العربية ظهرت بأعداد كبيرة. والحقيقة ظهرت بأعداد كبيرة جدا. You know. Very, very, very big numbers. So that's involvement. About I know what you're talking about. You want people to run. Not everybody wants to run for politics. Okay.
Okay. Even though I'm not really questioning to run as much as to be engaged. I mean, you've been in those 80 countries or 30 languages. So at least there's 30 communities that you're aware of, or at least some of them. So is our engagement up to speed compared to the rest? And that's what I mean.
We could use a little more involvement. We could speed it up. Okay, we could speed it up, but I think there are a lot from the, I'm talking about the communities in general. Okay. Yeah. As I said, some of those communities are still new, and some of these communities, and every immigrant, Sam, has a dual responsibility, a responsibility to his family and his work and his that he is trying to build in the new country, and also the responsibility towards the parents that he left behind, and the families he left behind, and the country that he's left behind. Right. So we're really, I mean, we're living here, but we're so attached to the countries that we left behind and the people. Like, how many times do you hear the news? Do you watch the news about Syria? How many times do I have the news about Lebanon?
It's a constant thing.
So it's gonna take time, Sam. It's gonna take time, but I think we're on the right track.
Well, Mo, I mean, I totally agree with you. When people come as new immigrant, definitely their priorities is completely different from somebody who's already been second or third or fourth generation. I totally understand that, and that's why I think you are so unique as a MLA, because you came as a new immigrant, or newcomer, I should say, to this country. And you didn't only succeed in your business life, in your family life, but also you were politically engaged almost to the highest level in Alberta. And that's a perfect example of somebody like who come new to the country can get involved and run and do a public service. But what I like about your story as well, it's not only yourself you succeed in that, but also your family, and one of your family member, MLA Moe Amery, who also happened to be your son. Also, he born raised in this country, and he ran, and he's a very successful lawyer, and he is an MLA now, first term. And that's the engagement that I'm talking about, is the second generations mainly and mostly. Are we succeeding in getting these so-called second breed, the second generations, get them up to that level of engagement, or you see some form of like stay away from it, or some like isolations, or just thinking about just financial success and that's it?
Well, look, different people are born with different minds, different ambitions, different hobbies. Not too many people. Not everybody wants to be a politician. Not everybody wants to be a lawyer. Not everybody wants to be a doctor. Not everybody wants to be. There are a multitude of things. Okay. That I see our young people are doing, and I'm very proud. With that our people are really doing well. There are a lot of young people who have graduated from universities. There are a lot of people who are building families. There are a lot of people who are doing other things other than politics. We would like to see more people involved. I would like to see more people involved in politics on the municipal level, on the provincial level, and on the federal level.
Okay, so let's dig a little bit beneath beneath the honey. Yeah. So when you ran the first time,
right?
We're talking about, that was when 1990. I think you ran twice. And
no, I ran the first time. I ran in 1985 or 86.
Right.
I ran for nomination in 1985.
Right.
And I ran against, or we ran. We were in the same party. We were competing. Okay. 9 people were competing for the position. Okay. I was the youngest. I think the least experienced, and I won that nomination.
Okay, good.
But I'll tell you, Sam. I did not win it by myself. Okay. I won it with the support of the community, with the support of so many volunteers. So many people believed in what we were doing. We were all doing together, because we said, and I said to them, to the friends, to the many friends, I don't want to mention any names, because if I mention a name, I have to mention like 100 names, that will get me in trouble. But so many good friends. First of all, you have to start from your own house, okay? And I am very, very lucky to have a very supportive family. Like my wife, my kids were young at that time. I mean, Mickey was 4 years old. Okay. 4 years old. But I have my wife and my brothers and my other family and my other friends. The community, the larger community, the larger family, which is the community. Like the community is our base.
Okay, but again, I'm back into the community, because really, this is all about the community, our community. And what I mean, our community, as much as we're so proud of, we are a part of we're essential part of our Calgary community, but we're specifically talking about the group of our ethnic background or our religious background, which is so important, because whether we like it or not, Mo, we're facing it in the daily lives. We have to advocate.
It's a fact.
Oh, okay. So it's a fact. It's not like being an outsider, as somebody might say. But was the Muslim community back then, back in 85 and 90, whatever, did you find that the proper support from the community back then was the community support?
Yes, absolutely, Sam. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, that's what I was exactly trying to say. I mean, first of all, you start from your immediate family. Yes. Okay, then you go to the larger family, which is the community. Like, how can you seek the support of any other ethnic community if your community is not supporting you? That will defeat the purpose, right?
I agree.
Our community, yes. Our community was involved, okay, was involved. And that's the base. That's absolutely the base which we went from. This is يعني مثل ما لما بتعمر بيت أو بنية بتبني الأساس. إذا كان الأساس solid, you'll have a good building.
You have a good building. Yes, I understand.
If the assess is not solid, you can. But fortunately, we have a solid foundation. We have solid foundation to start from, and we started from in that time. And I'll tell you what I told many of the supporters, many of the people. Look, you guys, we're new in this country. Right. We're new to this business. Okay, we are new to this business, to the business of politics. Right. We may never make it. We may never make it. However, we have to lay the foundations for the future generations.
Okay. I would love, I have so many questions, but I think I want to pass some of the questions that we start seeing on the screen. And if you don't mind, to start with this question from Nadim Al-Haq. If you can read it, I will read it for you. Brother Mo, when you were in politics, did you feel like an outsider when dealing with your fellow politicians?
You know what? Actually, when I was running, and I was afraid of this. I was really afraid of this. But when you go there and you show them that you can think on the same level, you can do the same thing that they're doing. It's not because you're an ethnic, you're less of a politician than they are. No, I honestly didn't. I honestly didn't. I was always treated with respect, and I always treated with as a member of the family. And we always, like even right now, after 30 years, we call ourselves as MLAs, former MLAs, like we're family.
And I totally agree with that. And from my humble experience, just as a regular immigrant coming new to this country, and I understand how much we have that fear in our side, and we think it's true, but honestly, it's from our side more than from the community. The more you overcome this fear and feelings, and the more you're gonna find the community like so open armed and so welcome and so acceptance to you. I think we have to come over these feelings ourselves before asking other people not to treat us as an outsider.
Exactly, Sam. The only thing I felt about it this way: if there was any, let's say, I'm not gonna use any big words, any other words other than not. Some people not being happy if I was there, or they're gonna act towards me in a strange way. The only way I can change them is from within and with my conduct.
Totally agree with that. Ali Amery, and this is like, whomever from the family, I guess, said definitely you left your impact on the community. So I'll take that as a definitely you did. So I have to agree with that, and I do agree with that. Zahra says you are inspirational. Thanks for sharing your story. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Zahra. I really appreciate that. I honestly did what I felt that I had to do. Okay. I had to do, and as I said, Sam, I said if I may never make it, or we may never make it. This generation may never make it. However, we will start a good foundation. Okay. Good foundation will. I see that.
So, as I said,
for the generation.
Yes. Okay. Question here, or I don't think it's for me. Let me read it. بظن يا سام انك عم تحاور مع محارب مخضرم، ما راح تقدر توصل للاجابات اللي بدك اياها، او بالاحرى ما راح تقدر تخلي ابو قاسم بحثه من البحثات. I don't know about this, but what we can do, Asila, is we're gonna try to get this.
Thank you. I know her as Usaila. Thank you, Usaila. But I am being straightforward. I don't know what bahsa are you looking for or talking about.
Great to hear, Mo. Everything is on an immigrant minus. We have stopped letting ourselves being played. Yeah, it's so true. Definitely. I think Osman he's a very nice, successful lawyer.
I know Osman very well. He's a dear friend, and I appreciate what he was saying, and I think he would like he's involved. He's involved in his community. He's involved in the larger community in Northeast Calgary, and he's involved in politics too.
Right. Before we start, because I see a lot of goodies and a lot of positive things happening, which is really good. We're so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let me ask you this: like,
Sure.
if you can share with us a little bit, when you go to bed, and you think, you know what, I served this kind of community for 6 terms, almost 20 years. I give it to a public life, and still. So, if you want to say, what would be so-called? What do you think the most memorable things you remember you've done to your own community, not the whole riding?
You know what? There are so many things that you do when you're in politics, Sam.
Okay.
I wish we would have the time to list them all. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
For instance, I'm very proud that I was the first one to raise the Quran in the Legislative Assembly of Alberta.
So you recite Quran in the legislative building in Edmonton?
No, to raise the Quran, to swear on the Quran.
Oh, you raised the Quran.
لما أقسمت اليمين. Secondly, I'm very proud that we introduced, or we started a tradition at the Alberta legislature that we celebrate Eid al-Adha every year at the Alberta legislature, and we recite the Quran, and we prayed, and we talked about Islam. I'm very, the other thing, I'm very, very proud that I was the first one to speak in a different language at the Alberta legislature. I spoke in Arabic many times.
MashaAllah, that's good.
So the other thing, I tried my best, Sam, and I informed the community of the grants that were available at that time, which we were allowed to, as MLAs, to grant $125,000 to the communities in our areas, and I made the community aware of it. So they choose not to take it, not to take the money, which it was, I believe, a bad mistake. The other thing is, Sam, I went with Ralph Klein. We led a trade mission to the Middle East, and we went to Lebanon with members of the cabinets and about 40 different companies right after the end of the civil war. We went to a town called Karaun, which is not too far away from my hometown, Lela, and we opened a hospital there, which we contributed to.
لكل أهل ليلى هون في Calgary, by the way.
نعم.
Sorry, I said just تحية لأهل Layla, all of them. I know they're so proud of you.
Thank you. And I went for another visit with the Minister of Community Development, and we again made a contribution over there. The other thing that I'm happy to have been contributed to is being the it wasn't a happy occasion, but I was happy to help during the 2006 war. I was appointed by Ralph Klein, God bless his soul, as the evacuation coordinator, and he donated $250,000 to the relief efforts of Lebanon at that time, and to the Red Cross. The other thing is, which I would say this is my pride, is that I was very, very close to the establishment of the El Medina School here in Calgary, which started in 1996. And the Medina School, I would like to take this opportunity, Sam, to thank and express my gratitude to the boards, to the consecutive boards, and to the principal and to the superintendent now for doing such a great job, because the El Medina School is housed to over 1,000 students, and they have about 500 or another 1,000 on the waiting list. Let me tell you this, Sam, this is an achievement. This is an achievement for the community too. It's not only for one individual or two. Or the El Medina School started in 1996, and it really housed all the people who came from such an unfortunate
charter school
situation and background. It had some very, very difficult times at the beginning, and I had to fight for it. And I had to fight for it with MLAs who asked me, how do you justify funding a school that's showing such a huge failure rate? However, that school has transformed itself. I mean, that school, the administration, the board, the teachers, the principals transformed themselves. And out of 750 and 762 students, it used to be rated at 758. Now it is rating in the 40s.
Oh, wow.
It is rating in the 40s, and I am very proud. We have worked so hard with the board to extend the charter, like from I think if my memory is not failing me, from 3 years, then to 5, then to 10, and now, before I left politics, we extended the charter to 15 years. That will give them stability, and that will make sure that the El Medina School will continue with its success. And I congratulate them from your forum here. By the way, Sam, I must tell you, thank you very much for this program. And I want to give you a name tonight. Your new name is Larry King of the North.
Okay, well, thanks very much. I really appreciate it. But Mo, I mean, you've been around 85 up to recently. I know you're involved. So let me ask you about your feedback on the Muslim community in terms of maturity, political maturities. Do you see things are progressing or stagnating, or I'm talking about from your point of view as an expert in politics, in community building? How do you see the Muslim community in Calgary throughout this 40-some years now, almost 40 years?
Sam, honestly, it's progressing very nicely. Okay, it's progressing very nicely. We got involvement. We got people not arguing, but participating in conversations about the political parties and the philosophy of the political parties, which we did not hear before. I think before it was going for the person. Now it's going for the person, going for the leader, going for the philosophy of the party, the platform of the party. That's progression.
Okay, and you see that happening?
Absolutely. I argue. I talk to a lot of people on a daily basis. Absolutely. Wow. Absolutely. I see that happening.
Oh, I want
Sam, it's our community today. Our community today. It's not the community of the 70s. And I'll tell you, and I mean, we can extend 10 minutes or 15 minutes if you want after this. Yes. And we were all new. Okay. We were all new. We all escaped like civil war and civil strife, and and we always wanted to provide better lives for ourselves, economically, educationally, you name it. Okay. Yeah. So people weren't paying too much attention. I mean, things have changed. As I told you, now a new immigrant comes here knowing more about Calgary and Canada than you and I. He comes here, he finds everything's waiting for him or for her. Okay. The other thing is, I remember in the 70s, Sam, people used to say, like, we want somebody to speak on our behalf. Okay.
Yeah.
And when I am there talking to those people and say, we want somebody to speak on behalf of these kids, on behalf of, on our behalf, on behalf of these kids, because we're new, we don't, like, Sam, people used to wait for somebody who has been here before them to take them to see a doctor or take them downtown to the federal building to get a social insurance number. Now people come here knowing everything about these things. The other thing is, those very same people that used to say that we need people to speak on our behalf, believe me, now they don't need anybody, because on every wall and every house there are 4 or 5 university degrees. So they can speak for themselves, and they can argue for themselves, and they can do things for themselves, not needing you, not needing me, not needing anybody. So what we need is, when we say, like, now I think we progressed to a different stage. Okay, instead of progressing, saying like, oh, we need somebody to speak on our behalf. Okay, I think now what they're saying, we need to give back our services to the country that has given us so much.
I have to admit, politicians always make you feel good.
I'm glad you're feeling good, Sam, tonight.
So it's your job to sell us that beautiful, rosy, fantastic picture, and so far you're doing a great job. So thanks for saying. I really want to believe in that, but I have to agree with you on 2 things.
These are the facts, Sam. Look how many doctors we have in the community. Look how many lawyers. Look how many engineers. Look how many accountants. Look how, they're all these are young people ready to take on the whole world.
I agree with you.
It's enough. Like a lot of people put the community down. No, the community. Look how many mosques we have. Look how many churches we have in the community. And I'm talking about the larger community in the city of Calgary and in the city of Edmonton. I think we have come a long way, Sam. It's not fair to keep putting the community down. The community has done a lot. The community is one of the most generous out of all communities that I have ever known. Yes, absolutely, Sam, we have some difference of opinions. And if we don't have difference of opinions, that means we're not thinking.
Well, I mean, first, I am not, and I will not put our communities down. I think
no, I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you.
Yeah, I think this community has a lot of potential. But I don't see that we're taking advantage of the situation. You really hit it on the head. This is not a 70s community no more. This is not the 80s community no more. This is the millennial. This is a 2020 community. But unfortunately, we are seeing the effect of the 70s and 80s mentalities and the 2000 and 2010 and 2020 mentalities. So I see the struggle. And I don't mean this in a bad way. Struggle of evolving. Like, community is moving. The community is growing. It's good and expanding. We have different kind of people. We have different kind of, as you said, so many mosques, so many layers of and different kind of people and background. But are we moving forward as a communities, or we are moving forward as individuals and as families? And my whole point is collective work. I don't see it outside of the mosque or the church. That's all where we work together is the mosque or the church, and that's it. And that's my point.
Yeah, Sam, I do agree with you. I do agree with you on one point, that we are very, very successful on an individual basis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we still need to work a lot and to work hard, to work as a community, as as groups. Okay, right. And that will come. That will come, Sam. I don't think it's impossible. I think that will come.
Okay. Well, I have Mr. Rasmi. هل قام الأستاذ محمد بإنشاء قاعدة من خلال الكوميونتي من الجيل الثاني للانخراط في العمل السياسي.
I have tried on so many occasions. راح اجاوب بالعربي. جربنا مرارا وتكرارا. اوكي. هلا مش كل شخص هلا انخراط بالسياسي، انخراط بالانتخابات، انخراط بمعرفه فلسفه الاحزاب موجوده، بس انخراط بالسياسي مش كل شخص بيحب ينخرط بالسياسي. في lots of well qualified people Sam بالكوميونتي، بس ما بيحبوش انه يترشحوا، لانه as a politician you forfeit your private life completely. Your life is an open book. Okay, everybody, what they say about politician, you're a fish in a fish bowl. Everybody will know everything about you. So you have no privacy whatsoever. Not too many people would like to do this. Not too many people would like to work 7 days a week. Not too many people would like to work evening and be away from their families. So that's why I think it will come. It will come. I mean, we shouldn't rush it. And I hope that we see some uprising stars in our community, that the community, and they provide themselves, and they come. Okay, we want to be in the political scene, in the political arena, and you see the people will support them.
Okay, talking about the star, we do have a star in the making. And I think, again, I mean, I can you don't have to answer any questions if you don't feel like comfortable with. It says, the question here says, I'm sorry, go ahead. You can read it in Arabic. تفضل. هل وجود قاسم, which is, I think it's your son, بالسياسة اليوم لأنه هو إرث الفتى عن أبيه؟ وبرأيك أبو قاسم زمان مين فيكون؟ Okay, here's the question.
وبرأيك أبو قاسم زمان مين فيكون هو الأهم، زمانك أم زمان ابنك؟ وشو رأيك ليس الفتى من قال أن. أنا هيدي على طول بقولها، إنه مش المهم إنك تورث تاريخ، المهم إنك تصنع تاريخ.
So true. I agree.
وأنا على طول بقول أنا قاسم ما بدي يكون بالبوليتكس لأني أنا كنت بالبوليتكس.
Right.
Exactly. ليس الفتى من قال كان أبي، بل الفتى من يقول ها أنا ذا. هلا you can watch, you can see if he's doing a good job, or he's going on there on my legacy, which I don't think so.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but if I want to make a quick comparison between your first term and his first term.
You know what? I mean, there's different times. I think during my first term, we did not have emails. We did not have have laptops at the legislatures. We did not have these things. I think I can say it this way. At that time, we worked hard. At this time, they work smart.
I agree with that, and definitely MLA Mickey. In my opinion, he's doing an awesome job in terms of engagement. I think he's engaged at all levels. I mean, personally, I don't know. There's no direct contact with him because he's really busy. And one thing I have to say about MLA Mickey, if there is any community questions, any support needed, not even once I remember reaching out to him as a community member, and he did not. He failed me, or he did not respond swiftly. So definitely, I see how important to have our men in offices and stuff, and also it's very important those elected ones to be really connected to the top, but also connected to the base.
Yeah.
And if you did what Asim is doing today, that means you did a good job, Mickey Moe.
I think I mean, I'm not the one to judge, okay? Yeah. But I want the constituents to judge. I want you. I'm glad to hear from you And and what I'm hearing from other people about how he responds to inquiries, and how he deals with situations that that arises. Shukran, Sheikh Jamal. Shukran.
Sheikh Jamal, mashallah, يعني he's a بتقول I have to give him يعني he's unelected politicians in our community, mashallah عليه. يعني he mixed mashallah عليه. We're so proud of you, Sheikh Jamal.
جمال مولانا وقائدنا في أي زمان ومكان.
Whoa, that's heavy stuff. Okay, we have here one thing from Sarah. Said, what's your advice you have for a woman regarding politics?
Politics? Absolutely. I mean, look, I mean, Sarah, you're they say you're half the society, and you are entitled to be in politics and to be in leading roles. And a lot of people say politics, women in politics are better than men in politics.
I agree. And I think that's I'm gonna get myself in trouble, but I have to say this.
I mean, we tell you one thing, Sam.
You are better organized.
We had women in caucus, okay, and we usually when we argue about things, when men they're hot-headed and argue about things, guess who settled the argument and who settled the situations?
Totally agree. So
headed women.
Right, we do, but are we doing what we supposed to do to help women to come forward to the first line? Is the leadership of the community, I don't want to say men, but I'm just going to take it collectively as a community, are we really pushing the fair representations of women in our community, or the opposite? We subconsciously or traditionally were pushed them backward, or I say away from the
subconsciously, we still have that idea there. Okay. However, yeah. I am not a proponent of pushing. Like, you cannot push anybody. We need people, people, whether it's women or young men or young women, to come forward, okay? To come forward and show the community that they have the leadership ability, okay? The leadership ability and the drive and the belly and the fire in their belly, as Ralph Klein used to say, and that I want to serve, okay?
Right.
I want to serve. First of all, Sam, like Shirley.
Go ahead.
Politics here in this country is different from politics from where we came from. It's not Jeh, it's not Zaami, it's not Baikawi, it's not Bashawi. It is service. If you want to serve, you're a public servant. If you want to serve the public and you show that you want to serve the public, people will come to you and will support you.
Well, just to be transparent and truthful to ourselves, yes, they need to let the fire in their belly, and they need to show that the desire and the commitment and all the stuff. But I'm not really trying to be negative, but I do think we're not doing enough to encourage women to get involved.
Sam, I want to just I don't think we were fair, or I was fair giving Sarah an answer to her question when she said, "What advice do you have for women re politics?" I think you should get into politics, but you should get involved on a grassroots level. Grassroots level is you live wherever you live. There is a political party candidate, or there is a constituency, what we call constituency association. I think you should get involved with the constituency association, and that's how I started. I started on a grassroots level. I started with I walked into an MLA's office when he was running. I never knew him from Adam. Okay, And I said, I'm here to volunteer. I'm here to help you. So they said, okay, go deliver some flyers. I did. Go put up some signs. I did. Then, when they saw that I am enthusiastic about getting involved, they asked me to become a member of the association. Then I became a member of the association for that particular MLA. Then I became the secretary. Then I became the president. Then he asked me to run. It is going to take time. Nobody expects to say, I'm going to run for politics and be an MLA the next day. It might take you years. It might take you years.
Beautiful answer. Thank you very much.
I mean, look, they say in politics, you have to pay your dues. Okay.
Right.
You have to pay your dues. But if you haven't been involved in the party, you have not been involved in your community, and I'm not talking about your immediate community. If you're not involved in the constituency, which is the larger community, okay, because that's why would they reward you? I mean, this is you are getting the best job in that area. You are becoming their representative. You are entering the highest court of the land. Like Parliament is the highest court of the land. So why would they give it to you free? And here, the other thing, Sam, people will watch you. People will watch you day and night. Okay. And people will hold you accountable. Okay.
Sure.
It's not who you are. It's not who your father is. It's not how big is your bank account. Okay. It's what have you done for us? Okay.
Wow.
If you ran to represent us, what have you done for us?
So true. I totally agree with that. I do have to pass a few comments, especially for our Sheikh Jamal Hamoud. I think he's a very fan of you. I don't know. I mean, that sounds like really fishy now for me. I have to find out what kind of relationship you have. But Sheikh Jamal, thanks for your nice word. Same thing with the Sheikh Azim.
Thank you, Sheikh Jamal. Sheikh Qasim, Sheikh Jamal, Allah yakhallikum.
Zahra emphasized on the idea that we can do more. Inshallah, we should and we will. I have a question from Muhammad Moe Bust, and that's something I think this is I said, هل تطمح بخوض العمل السياسي في الوطن الأم؟
My friend Muhammad Al-Bast, thank you very much. I think this is a vote of confidence from you. However, I was asked this question. I was asked this question before by I think I was on MTV, and they asked me the question. I said, to help. I'd love to help over there. I'd love to use my humble experience. However, you can do it without having a blue license plate on your car, or being elected. You can do that by offering advice.
Yeah.
Besides, I don't think it is that easy, because those positions are reserved, and that's really what pushed us away from our own countries, because you have no hope and you have no future. Okay,
well, thanks for answering that question. I know this is a question that was from our friend Moe Bust, but I don't think anything wrong for us, especially first generation, for immigrant to even be involved in both countries. I think even doing it that way, that will strengthen a relationship between Canada and the mother country. Personally, I'm not trying to answer the questions on your behalf, but I think we should be involved. We should serve the people that we love, and I have no doubt in my mind you love Canada as much as you do love Lebanon, and there's no doubt there.
Absolutely. One the Canada and Lebanon is one like your wife and one like your mother. Who would you love? Who would you love more?
So true. I have a question here that I'd like to pass to you, and I think. Okay, I'm just going to try to phrase it nicely. Just
okay.
21 years in politics. Okay, I'm going to say it directly.
Just say it the way
20 years of politics, you never support or guided the next generation, all the political people to get involved in the political arena. So in your 21 years, and I want to say you never, because I shouldn't say never, but I could say a question came as why Moe Amery did not guided or support anybody from the young generations to get involved like he did, based on the experience he has or he accumulated.
سام، بعتقد ما اعتقد انا قريان عباره منهم من نسبها للامام علي رضي الله عنه ومنهم من نسبها للامام الشافعي، انه رضا الناس غايه لا تدرك.
صحيح.
Absolutely, this is the caller or whoever wrote this question is this is not true and this is not right. We always advertise, we always begged, we always asked people to come and join our association. Okay, as I did when I started in politics, we asked them to come and join our association and grow from within and be a part of the decision-making process, whether it was on the board level or on the constituency level. So right. I mean, you can lead the horse to the water, but you cannot force him to drink. Okay, so if they don't show up, I don't know what to do. Okay, I don't know what to do. With over 22 years, Sam, every year we have an election for the constituency association, when we asked a multitude of people from the community to come and join the association, and they just don't come. So right. What can you do? What can you do?
So true. So as you said it, you cannot really force people to get involved or to do anything else that comes from within. But also, I really think as a leader of from this community like yourself, I would say it's one of the obligations is to inspire people to run, identify the gems in the community and try to bring them in, and create every incentive possible to create the next generation of leadership. And I just don't see this is happening. Not only, I'm not talking about you, but I don't think even exist in our the way we do business, except we do this for our own like family members. But if you know in politics, if you're a leader of a party, or if you're a leader in your area, you always try to create who's next and who's next. You create leaders. You bring them in. You teach them. You guide them. You mentor them, and you encourage them.
Sam, there's a different opinion, two schools of thoughts about leaders and leadership.
Go ahead.
And I searched it and I studied it, and I found equal people, equal opinion, okay, about saying whether leaders are born or leaders are made, okay? Almost 50% of the researchers said leaders are born. 50% are made. So you cannot make a leader if he has nothing, like no genes in him pushing him or qualifying him to be a leader. So what I would say, it's a combination. Leadership is a combination of being born and being made. What I say is a leader. A leader is just like a gem, مثل الحجر الثمين اللي بتشيله من المنجم. هلا الذهب لما بتشيله من المنجم ما بتشيله عم بيلمع، بتشيله بالتراب، بتشيله بالحديد، بتشيله بالحجاره، بتسقله بتسقله وبتحميه وبتحرقه وكذا الى اخره، لانه انا مش جوهرجي بس اوكي، لحتى تصنعه وتعمله ذهب. فالليدرشيب يعني it's half, I would say it's half born and half made. Okay. And I'll tell you, I have talked to young people, young university graduates, and I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. You mentioned the word gem, which brought to my memory a person that I had a lot of hope that he would come. And you know what he said to me? He said, "I'm a hidden gem. I am a hidden gem." And I said, "This is the guy that we need." Okay. Guess what? He came to one meeting. And never showed up after that for no reason, never answered the phone. So you cannot force somebody if it's not in him. You know, that's why I would say it has to be a combination of both. A combination of the person wants to learn, okay, have the capability, have the drive, have the self-confidence, have the you know, and then we can work on him to become a leader. نسقل هالصفات هذه اللي فيه، اوكي، مش بس انا يعني anybody بدك تسقلها، بدك تسويها، بدك تلمعها, and you have to present him to the public.
I totally. But also, Mo, يعني you gain so much experience. I mean, this is like you are like a walk-in university for people who want to get involved in politics, especially for the minority group. You've done it. You've gone through all the ups and downs and all around. But start with you, and we don't want it to finish with you. And I mean by that is, unless we need to create a space where so-called those hidden gem will feel comfortable, come forward, because as you said, everybody will think you're going to do a great job, but unless you put them on for the test, grind them, mold them, and then you can produce those so-called future community leaders. Because honestly, we do need, as a community, we do need a proper presentations, not because the guy has a blue eyes, or not the guy because he has a hefty bank account, because the guy has what it takes to lead and to serve and to represent. And that's what I don't see that from the Muslim side. I don't think we have that yet outside the mosque, which is only doing the basic of the basic of the basic of community work. Unfortunately, every 2 years we have to go through the elections or through some ups and downs, and then one leadership will take us left and another leadership will take us right, and that's what this is really what I'd like to accomplish is the accumulation of experiences, the tools or way to transform or transfer knowledge, experience to the next person and the next person and the next person. That's what I'm hoping that we could do.
Alhamdulillah, Sam. I have neither of what you mentioned. I don't have blue eyes, and I don't have a hefty bank account. Okay.
You do have a blue eyes. Come on.
And the other thing is I hope. As you mentioned, we don't want it to start with me and stop with me. عارف شو هو أصعب من الوصول إلى القمة؟ هو البقاء على القمة. Okay. نحن وصلنا على القمة، لازم نعمل ما بوسعنا حتى نبقى على القمة، حتى يبقى لنا صوت و representation. كمان لما بنحكي عن صوت و representation, that does not mean at all only صوت and representation. Okay, as I told you, we're not the community of the 70s. صوت and representation for the community only, but a member from the community to be the voice of everybody in the area that he or she represents.
Okay.
Let me answer this question. Let me answer the question for Brother Hamid Sadat.
Go ahead.
Do we need a political or legal background to volunteer? Brother Hamid, all what we need is some common sense.
That's it.
Common sense will do it.
So, okay, just common sense. So no legal background or political background.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, we need common sense, concern about the your community, and when I say community, the community at large, okay, the area in which you live, the country, the city in which you live, and the province and the country. If you want to do well, and one time brother Muhammad Bas said if I would be interested in running in the old country, but I said to somebody, you don't have to run to serve your country. If you pick up a piece of paper off the street, okay, you're helping your country.
Perfect. So I think the hour is past, and I do have a lot of I still have a few questions that I think I would like to take your input on.
Sure. Yeah.
So the first hour is just we're warming up.
Yeah.
I think now we're ready to ask the tough questions.
Right.
Okay. And as I said, I do have to, as you said, it's I have to just be very, very politically correct when I say this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very hard, as you said, to please people, and you're not in the business to please people, right? Some people like what you do, some people don't like what you do, some people agree, some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
Is it fair to say within our own community, the so-called the Middle Eastern, the new immigrant, we're a little bit harsher on our leadership, like we criticize them like really heavy, and we just like we chew their faces, let's say more viciously than what we should be, or this is just a normal because you are serving community and this is just normal. I feel personally our community is just like very, very, you could be criticized like really aggressively, or maybe I'm just newbies. I don't have the experience, and that's why I'm feeling that way. So, what's your take on that, Muhammad?
No, I don't think they're hard. Okay, I think they're the expectations. Okay, the expectations are high. Okay, and you know what? But I believe Sam that there was a question on one of your, I don't know who probably brother Mahmoud Murra asked a question last time. I saw something on your on one of your programs, said, are we educated enough? I put a question mark, and then he said no. I do agree. I do agree with that. As you said, our communities are new. Okay, our communities are not aware of the political system here and what and what we can do or what we can't do. Okay. People told me, like when they came to my office with very unrealistic requests, and I said, no, it can't be done. It can't be done because you have to do everything according to law. You know what they said, and I'll say it in Arabic. Well, النواب هونيك بيعملوا الأبيض أسود والأسود أبيض. Okay.
Right.
We have to realize that the primary job of an MLA or a NAIB in this country, the primary job, there are two things, is التشريع والمحاسبة. Okay.
محاسبة الحكومة.
That's right. التشريع ومحاسبة الحكومة. Okay. هلا نحن معودين على الخدمات الشخصية. Okay. حتى أنا بلبنان طالما قلت هاي الساعة هذه free for all بلبنان كنا في زيارة سماحة مفتي شيخ خليل الميس، وكانوا نواب البقاع الغربي موجودين، وسألني انه بوجودك بلبنان هون مين بيعمل لك المراجعات، مين بيقوم بالاعمال الشخصيه اللي لازم تقدمها. فكان جوابي انه انا انتخبت لشغلتين، للتشريع ولمحاسبه الحكومه. اما الخدمات الشخصيه لا مطلوب مني لا عمر حيط ولا زف الطريق ولا انقل وظف استاذ مدرسي ولا انقل عسكري. انا شغلتي التشريع، انا بشرع قانون، هالقانون هذا بيشتغل بغيابي.
So true.
اوكي. هلا نحن هون حتى جاوب على سؤالك سام، انه الاكسبكتيشنز هاي. اوكي. وهيدي بعتقد الاخ محمود مره لما قال are we educated enough, are we educated not, do we have, yes we do have degrees, yes we have schools, yes we have kids going to schools and succeeding and doing very well.
Politically, I think.
Are we aware of what the job of a political member of the Legislative Assembly is?
Yeah, but yani, I still want to talk about this point because it's. I feel like to be a public servant, it's not easy, and as you said, something that you have to. It's something you have to do it on your own. Like you have to show interest, you have to volunteer, you have to put a lot of times, you have to do a lot of work, and then you get a little bit notice, and then you will be given the opportunity to serve here and there. And then if you're good, you're gonna grow. But what I'm trying to learn from your experience, Mo, because I'm going to be just honest with you. I heard it from people. When I say Moe Amery, I said, well, who is this Mohammed Amery? He never done nothing for us. That bluntly. Okay. I said, what do you mean he done nothing? The guy ran like for 6 times. I said, what did he do? Okay. And I'm not here to repeat the questions, but what I'm trying to say is,
yeah.
When you are a public servant,
Sam, وانا بقول لك I heard it.
Okay.
But the person who وانا بتحدى وبنعملها على البرايفت. I heard these talks. Okay. Yeah. What has he done for us? Okay. And I was lucky one time, one guy came to me and asked me for very, 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 very unreasonable question, unreasonable request. It cannot be done la legally wala morally. Okay. I told him it can't be done. And قال لي انه النايب بلبنان بيعمل الابيض اسود والاسود ابيض، وصرنا دخلنا بجدال لبناني انه لانه بيعملوا الابيض اسود والاسود ابيض لبنان وين وحكومته وين واقتصاده وين وتاريخه وين. بس لما سالته انا لهذا الشخص بليز عم بتقول لي انه قال لي انت ما عملت شيء للجيل. قلت له بليز قومني اذا كنت انا اعوج. اوكي. علمني اذا كنت انا ما بعرف. قل لي الجيلي شو بدها. قال لي بدها كثير. يا اخي والله قل لي شو بدها كثير. يا اخي والله قل لي على شغله واحده. عارف شو طلع معه؟ قال لي طيب ما تعمرنا شي جامع.
اوكي يا
اوكي ما تعمرنا شي جامع. ساعتها قلت له انه لا تحدثني كثيرا عن الدين والجامع، خليني ارى الدين والجامع في سلوكك. اوكي. هلا we all know انه حتى الجرانتس اللي بتعطى للجوامع لا تعطى للجامع، لانه لمركز العبادي تعطى مثلا لقاعه، للاجتماعات، لمكتب cultural. لانه الحكومه عارفه انه اذا بدنا نبدا قصه تعمر جوامع وتعمر كنايس وتعمر سيناغوج وتعمر معابد وتعمر كذا الى اخره، where would we stand in a دوله علمانيه. اوكي. بتساعدك بس ما بتعمر لك جامع. اوكي. هلا لما انا بحب حي عبد العزيز الحمصي، هو احد شباب مدرسه المدينه بالايام
Mo, just let me, if you don't mind, I want to address this point again.
Sure.
It's so hard and it's not easy to be a public servant, and you've done it. But what I'm trying to say is, in our community, I feel, and I hope I'm wrong, the level of criticism, it's very high, and it's thing that we don't make it easy for our elected one or for the one who trying to volunteer. يعني the list of accusations, it's so wide and long. يعني I don't want to mention name as you said, but no matter who is, let's say, the president or the CEO or the chairs of this organization, الله لا يوفقه سرق الله كذا whatever, بيروح بيجي اللي بعده سرق عمل كذا. يعني we always talk like this. يعني انت, even if you want to do, because you hear so much يعني bad things, you're just so much discouraged. So and I'm trying to understand this. Is it something like really we do this, or this is just a human nature that nothing you can do about it? You just have to take it, have a very thick skin, or we need to address it. We need to say, hey guys, these guys are democratically elected, and they work hard, they volunteer hard, instead of making it so hard for us to get involved. We have to make it easy. And somehow when we keep bad-mouthing anybody and everybody, I think we are really destroying, or I don't want to say destroying as much as we are not part of the solution, as much as we are part of the problem.
Sam, when we started this conversation, I hope that this will not come to this. However, you opened it. I mean, is an open for all discussion. Yes. Okay. As I said, we have a lot of expectations, okay, of our elected representatives, okay, and expectations in some areas at some times are not normal. Okay. Honestly, Sam, and I used to get a lot of admonitions, okay, from other MLAs because of the things that I do. هلا فرجيني MLA واحد بقى يعبي طلبات هجرة، حتى أصحاب مكاتب الهجرة زعلوا مني. طلبات Canadian citizen. How many times I made settlements for people who got overpaid on their pensions. How many times I got settlements for some people who had accidents and they didn't have insurance, and they were charged from the fund that pays for the plaintiff. How many times, I'll tell you this, Sam, how many times or how many MLAs would used to go to his office at 1:32 a.m. to call the Canadian embassy in Beirut, okay, and put his neck on the line to guarantee a visa to a bride, to عروس عرسة جاي بعد يومين وما عطوهاش الفيزا. I'll tell you how many MLAs بيجي لعنده شخص بيقول له رحت على الجراج الفلاني وصلحوا لي الفريمات وطلعوا انا نزلت عملت له driving test to drive the كل هالاشياء هذه. هلا اللي بيجي انا بتمنى انه الشخص اللي عم يقول لك شو هو الشغله البسيطه. انا بقيت اسمعها انه رحنا لعنده بشغله بسيطه وما ساعدنا. عارف شو الشغله البسيطه اللي ما ساعدتم فيها يا سام؟
No idea.
انا بقول لك وبعني احفظهم وبعني داير بالي ليون وبعني اعرفهم كلهم. بيجي واحد لعنده بده لي بدي اخذ ابني على كليه الطب.
Okay.
I can't. There's no way. How many times I can tell you and I can show you sample وثائق. خليك انت تتحض كل ادعاء بيجي لعندك او كل واحد بيقول لك. انا فرجيك بالوثائق انه كم شخص انا كاتب له recommendation letter منشان لاي وظيفه رسميه. يعني اشياء كثيره سام لو انا عارف
honestly I don't want to go too much into
هذا على هالدومين هذا كنت حضرتهم يعني بس انا انتخبت to do a job and to be so secretive about it. أنا look Sam لما أنا I advocated so heavily and so hard for the age recipients. يعني أنا when I am helping, I don't look at the color or the race or the religion or the sex of the individual. I look at everybody as a human being, and I did my job as such. And I did it over the last 22 years with dignity and respect. Like, I did not do anything against the law. At one time, even I did something, Sam, one time, and it is not against the law, okay? And the minute they thought, or some people thought, it was against the law, they reported me, okay? And it almost أودت بحياتي السياسية والمعنوية, okay, إلى الهلاك.
Sorry, wallahi, I didn't mean to.
No,
think I'm trying to make it personal.
It should come out. It should come out.
My point is, we're talking about why we're not engaged. Okay, we're trying to really digest it and just slice it. One of the reasons we're not engaged, because I personally think our community is so harsh in our criticism. We make a huge, we talk so much about negative things, and we barely discuss the positive side of this servant or this guy or that guy. So I'm saying is, our community is not making it easy for anybody to run, because he's afraid to be badmouthed, to be criticized, to be demonized. That's all.
No, Sam. Let me tell you this. برجع بقول لك, our community are very, very engaged. Okay, and I ran in 7 elections. Okay, in 9 elections. Okay, and the community always stood by me. Okay, and during my tenures, I stood by the community. If we're talking only about our community, okay.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about the problems that we have in the organization. And we keep running around the organization, talking around the organization that we all know. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, we have to put a stop to that. Okay. As a community, we have to put a stop to that. And we have to treat that organization as a real organization, as an institution. The organization is not a small organization anymore. Okay, you mentioned a couple of times these are volunteers. Okay, volunteers have responsibilities too. Okay, if I want to volunteer to do a job, I must do it. I must do. And I work with a lot of volunteer organizations. Okay, you know what I feel, Sam? To put things back on track, okay, I honestly think that particular organization, okay, should have a paid CEO, okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because it's such a huge organization, it is not a small place where somebody can go open the door in the morning and close it in the evening, and that paid CIO should be paid well, and should be held accountable for everything that happened in that organization. An organization like that, some people might think.
No, by the way, Mo, sorry, this is a voluntary position that's supposed to be no salary, and you see people taking each other to the court. So can you imagine if there's a CEO and there's a salary? My goodness.
Well, Sam, look, for the money that the community is paying in legal fees and to lawyers, you can hire a CEO,
5 CEOs,
and you can hire staff and run it properly. I mean, we're not saving anything. In addition to losing the money on legal fees, lawyer fees, all these things, we are losing our reputations. You just said it. Nobody wants to get involved.
Destroy our reputation.
Nobody wants to get involved because he'll be painted as a thief and as this and that. That's why people will stay out. You asked me the other day about engagement on the community level. We have lots of good, educated people who would love to work. But because of what's happening, okay, they do want to be a part of it.
Yeah, so true.
So
well, I mean, you open a topic, and I tried to not to get too much into it, but I think
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about this more, or you prefer not to?
it's it's up to you. It's up to you. However, because the case, I think, is before the court right now. Okay, I don't think we should really.
How do you feel about that? Our community going from one court to another, from one law firm to another, hundreds of thousands of dollars being spent to serve in a non-for-profit organization. Have you heard something like this in Calgary? Non-for-profit organization, export taken future board. I mean, regardless what the situation, is this common in this part of the world, in this town, or this is unique?
Sam, it is common. It is common, and because of my involvement as an MLA with organizations, I've seen organizations and different parts of the organizations taking each other to court. Okay, but because they are doing it, like two wrongs doesn't do a right. Okay. We know they're wrong. The other organization, they're wrong. Why are we following in their footsteps?
Okay.
Right. So if they're doing it, that doesn't mean that we have to do it. There are so many ways that we can get around. Sit down around a table and have our respected. We have very well respected imams in the city, like. They can solve all the problems. We have so why do we have to go to court and pay the hard-earned dollars of the community members who are working in construction jobs and in a 30 below weather to give it to the legal profession? Really?
But I mean, again, if you ask those people why this is happening, because they're gonna say, you know what, the old way of doing business was the 70s and the 80s mentality, and those people want to do it professionally. And between this school of thought and the other school of thought, this organization is just like spinning. We're spinning in court. I don't want to say spinning outside the court. Unfortunately, people are not able to talk directly unless there's some kind of legal firm involved in that, and that's really
Sam.
That's sad for at least. Let us put
الاختلاف بالرأي مشروع. اوكي، والاختلاف بالرأي لا يفسد في الود قضية. اوكي، والاختلاف بالرأي صحي، لانه مثل ما قلنا من قبل شوي، اذا ما اختلفنا، اذا ما كان عندنا آراء متعددة، بنكون كلنا مثل بعضنا، بنكون ما حدا منا عم بيفكر. اوكي،
What if we do it in English?
بس الاختلاف لما بيؤدي لخلاف، اوكي، بنكون نحن عم نضحك كل شيء بنعرفه about this country, because this is the country of everything can be solved with conversation instead of confrontation. Okay, نحن عم نموف من ال conversation أو من الاختلاف للخلاف, then من ال conversation لل confrontation, which is turning people off.
Okay. I know we're not planning to dig right into the details of it, but we're going to leave it at that. Let's read this beautiful note from حسين رحال. كل الاحترام والتقدير للنائب الأخ محمد عميري. الجالية اللبنانية والعربية لديها طاقات كبيرة، للأسف ليس لديها تنظيم إداري، ومسؤول علينا أن نعمل متحدين. احترم الرأي الآخر والتواضع في المسؤولية. نحن نعمل الآن على ترشيح 10 من الشباب والشابات من الجيل الصاعد. حوار صريح، وأنا أتمنى لكم التوفيق. I don't know if you know what this talk is about, because it's new to me, but definitely good suggestion here.
It's a very good message, and it's very and I hope that will carry through, and I hope that we will see 10 MLAs in the next Alberta legislature.
Oh, I do have that too. I'm gonna run by these questions like so quickly.
Sure.
I think this is like, you need to translate this for me, what Hamid is saying.
Who, me?
Yes.
He wants to say what the services.
Okay, let's move to this questions, if that's okay. And this is like Abdulaziz Husami saying he done so much. He was there for Al Madina and is still doing so. His son, this is our new generation, which is really good. I mean, definitely. So this is a person who recognized your effort with the Al Madina, and we know back then was really hard, and that was a huge success for the community to put the Madina school together, and it wasn't easy. So. Nadim again is saying this is the very reason why we need more second generations in politics that do not have connections to the fatherland. So,
well, I mean, there are the opportunities are there.
Actually, I missed the first part of the questions. I feel that we do not build each other up, but rather do the opposite. Is this community divided? And then he replied with the other thing. So do you think we don't build each other up? We do the opposite? Is that something that you agree with this statement? That's also too harsh of a statement.
I think you took the word out of my mouth. Okay. That's a bit harsh statement. I think our community has done a lot for each other, okay, and helped each other, and you have to know how to deal with the community, okay.
Okay. Well, Mo. I'm gonna wrap it up quickly here and ask you, what's your advice for somebody? Actually, before I ask you your advice, I want to ask you about our new community here, the Syrian community in Calgary, just because it's a new community. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by new community, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's the only community, it's a Lebanese community, maybe back in the 70s, when within, let's say, 6 months, we have like 4,000 showed up all at the same time. Yep. Is there any other community gone through the same experience within 6 months? We had 4,000 or 5,000 of a community, or we do, or that was like through a longer time.
Sam, probably, it's so unfortunate that your community and our community has a lot of things in common. In the 1975 Civil War, we had a lot of influx of people coming to Canada and to the rest of the world. Before that, I think in the 70s, we had the Vietnamese refugees, and they call them at that time the boat. Right. I know if it's in the 70s though, the boat people.
Yes.
Before that, we have the Ismailis who fled Uganda. Okay.
Okay.
I mean and by the way, I'm very pleased with what I am hearing about the Syrian community and the way they're acclimatizing and the way they're adapting to the Canadian society. And I see a lot of them have started businesses and they're doing very well. I think what I would suggest is keep up the good work and keep up the hard work, because it's going to take a lot of hard work to survive, especially at this time. I think we have never seen a time like that, Sam. Since I've been here in this country, yeah, we have had our ups and downs, But this is totally different. Okay. I think when times get tough, the tough gets going.
So true. So for somebody who knew in this country as a young cop per se, whether a young man or a young lady, and they wanna replicate Moe Amery's success in politics. So, what your advice for those young people who want to get involved? You started, I think, by said get involved in these association levels and volunteering. Is these are the two main things, or there's if you don't mind, give us
absolutely
a roadmap to that.
No, absolutely. You have to get involved. Okay, you have to get involved on two levels. Okay, you have to get involved on the party level. Okay, and you have to get involved on the community level. Okay, the party level is to, as they say, to score some brownie points with a party, because you have paid your dues, you have done something. We have seen you. Your name is well known among the party members. And on the other hand, what have you done in the community? Did you do any volunteer work? Did you visit any of the schools and ask them if they need some help? Did you visit any of the senior citizen homes? So you have to do all these things, okay? Because they're gonna reward you with something you really like, and without their support, okay, without support, you may never get it. Sam, I read a book to a Harvard professor who said the most two important calling in life, okay, a person can make is, one is serving his country in the army, and the second is serving his country in a public office or stand for public office. The other thing is, I think standing for public office is a lot more dangerous. Because I'll tell you what Winston Churchill said about that. He said, "In war, you'll die once. In politics, you'll die every day."
So true. My goodness. But unfortunately, or fortunately, whether we like it or not, we live in a society that based on blocks of communities and or associations and organizations and like a block by block by block. We have to build these organizations that represent us. We need to have a voice in the decision making locally, municipality, or provincially, or even federally, and we need to find ways to mobilize our youngest and brightest to step forward and start so-called getting more into the front line, getting more engaged. And I really hope through this kind of dialogue, we just going to create an interest, because I truly believe we have a lot of wealth, intellectual wealth, financial wealth, and experience, and on all levels we are such a wealthy community, and everybody look at us as this is a very important community. If we can mobilize so-called the resources we have, I think we can do way much better by having just one MLA or one municipal council, like a city hall council or anything like that. And that's really my hope. This is why we have you here, Mo, because you are you serve this community for 20 some, and still we want you to be available for the new generation to learn from you and to tap into your experiences. And hopefully you and other community leaders, you're gonna start working together to eliminate these negative practices and negative habits that we have, and these negativities that preventing the young generations to get involved. And hopefully you're gonna see actions more than just like analyzing the situation and just talking about it.
Sam, I've always made myself available, okay, to talk at events, okay, visit schools and mentor students, give advice to some people who wanted to get involved into the get into the political arena, and I will continue to do so. And if you want to team up with me, okay, or if you want me to team up with you, we will. I will be happy to do so.
I would love to. I would honestly.
Because it is important. It is very important for the community as a whole, and for every member of the community, okay, to be involved and to be a productive citizen, and to be a part of the decision-making process.
Well said, Mo. I really appreciate the time, and this is supposed to be a 1 hour, but we are 40 minutes past the 1 hour, and that's a typical Arabic practice, I should say.
خليني really أشكرك على البرنامج القيم اللي عم بتضوي فيه على مسائل كثير مهمة وعلى طاقات تكمن في هذه الجالية الكريمة. وخليني أغتنم الفرصة بالموسم هذا، موسم الأعياد، عيد الميلاد المجيد وعيد رأس السنة الجديدة، أتقدم بتهاني الحارة للجالية الأخوة المسيحيين بمناسبة عيد الميلاد والسنة وعيد رأس السنة، وكمان نطلب من الله العلي القدير أن يرفع البلاء والوباء ويشفي المرضى، إنه على كل شيء قدير.
بارك الله فيك، وتحية لك ولكلامك الحلو ولوقتك الظريف، وأنا بتشكرك على رحابة صدرك، وبعتذر عن أي كلمة كانت غير مناسبة في هذا الحديث. بس بصراحة you've done very well, and you give me more time than I deserve. بس أنت بصراحة you are a very prominent community leader, and we seek guidance from you, and we want to learn from your experiences, and inshallah with your help we're gonna find a new path that's going to make everybody's life better.
I hope so.
شكرا كثير former and still hopefully MLA, 6-timers MLA in Alberta, Moe Amery Abu Asim. It was absolute pleasure being with you. تحياتي لك وتصبح على خير.
Thank you Sam.
السلام عليكم. So guys, thanks. Well, I do appreciate your time. I still believe we do have to do a lot of digging. We still do have a lot of poking and provoking. Some topics that are not easy to talk about. Some people disagree with the way we address it, but I really think the best way about solving any problems first is to talk about it and be open and be able or be accept the idea that to discuss anything and everything, because through I don't want to say criticism as much as through through engagement, or through analyzing the situation and talking about it and bringing other people to weigh in on any topic, I think we can move forward. Especially we don't have a base to start with outside of our political, our religious institutions, but as a community, we have to build those organizations. We have to build these platforms. We have to create these dialogues, and we have to have the will to communicate and give people a chance to express their ideas. And if somebody criticizes us, it's fine. That doesn't mean it's a personal attack. Or if you just have an advice, don't be shy about it. And because we will grow together, and we will help each other and evolve personally. There's a lot of young generations in this community, and those young generations, we need to reach out to them and find ways. I don't know how, but we have to keep trying. تحياتي لكم ومرة أخرى بتشكر ال MLA former MLA Moe Amery for all his time. تحياتي لكم وبعتذر على التطويل الوقت بس بصراحة I'm enjoying it but I'm gonna keep hammering on those tough questions. تحياتي لكم تصبحوا على خير والسلام عليكم and happy holidays or Merry Christmas يعني for everyone celebrating the holidays.